What is this second lockdown going to mean for business?
Well, Sophie, it's an incredibly difficult time for business. This is a real body blow. So many firms have worked very hard to become COVID safe. They have been resilient through the first phase. So this is undoubtedly very tough. But I do think that firms have shown enormous innovation and resilience, and they can continue to do so. We need to do everything we can to minimise the damage of the second lockdown. And I think there are three things. We need to keep as much of the economy open as we possibly can. And actually, because more businesses are COVID safe now, manufacturing, construction should be able to stay open. And the fact that we have schools open is really fundamental because people can go to work. We do need to protect jobs and the enablers of the economy through this. The fact we've got the job retention scheme, furlough continuing, is really, really fundamental. But the final thing, Sophie, and I think it's almost the most important of all, we need to use the next 4 weeks to really prepare for what might come next. And mass rapid testing for business could be a total game changer, enabling more of our economy to be open and work safely and productively. So I think business is really rallying around to try and make this less damaging than the last lockdown and to see us through.
You mentioned that the furlough scheme. The government's extended the furlough scheme for a month. Does it need to be in place for as long as these new restrictions last for?
It absolutely does. And I think if there was one thing that we need to get right now is that economic support has felt too often as though it's tail end Charlie. It's business having to come and say, now we need this, now we need that, instead of being part of the solution right from the beginning. And we would really welcome clarification from the government right now that as long as these restrictions are in place, the support will be in place, because businesses need to plan. If that isn't there, then jobs will be lost now.
Yeah, Michael Gove didn't quite clarify that earlier, although he did hint in that direction. Is it possible that despite the support that's in place, businesses that have struggled to make it through the first lockdown, through all of the social restrictions we've seen in the meantime, this could prove to be one step too far for them? And what could that mean in terms of job losses?
So I think we have to be really realistic about this. There are some ways in which this lockdown will be easier, because I do think that businesses are more ready and there's been more preparation and schools are open. But resilience is very low. You have got businesses who've run down cash, even with loans. We're running towards the end of how effective loans can be. Cash grants are going to be now what we need more and more. And I think there is real worry about certain sectors. Aviation absolutely on its knees with this additional travel ban. Hospitality, there is a lot in place for hospitality, but the supply chains going into hospitality will be hugely affected. So I think the other thing that we really need to be thinking more about is how we train our young people to move into the growth areas of the future during this period. It gives us a breather. People have a lot of downtime. Let's use it so that we can help the economy to adjust and create jobs as well as just protect them.
Yeah, very difficult time for people entering the job market, as you say. I just want to take a step back for a minute, because you are stepping down as head of the CBI after a pretty extraordinary period at the helm. 2 elections, 3 prime ministers, the EU referendum, Brexit, and now COVID. How do you think the governments that you've seen have treated business in that time?
So, Sophie, you're right. I think when I joined 5 years ago, some people said to me it was going to be quite a tame time, and it certainly hasn't proven to be that. I think this has been a challenging time for the relationship between business and government. I think the challenge of the redefining of the relationship with the European Union has been really hard, because so many businesses valued a close relationship, and I've been trying to communicate that voice throughout with evidence into the debate. But what I would say is that we have seen, I think, some real change over the last 6 months as we have worked together. Business and government have been working together to create the job retention scheme, to create the support packages. And if we can build on that, I think that is something, nothing can be done, I think, coming out of this without business and government working together, whether it's on training, whether it's on the recovery from COVID, whether it is climate change, where I think business has been absolutely leading the charge. So it's been challenging, but I am very much of the view that this can be a new chapter and that we can build a partnership going forward that will really make a difference.
You mentioned Brexit there. Boris Johnson, of course, famously or infamously once said, F business. When he was asked to expand on that at a Conservative Party hustings, he said, I was referring to the very powerful lobby groups who wanted to have a particular type of exit from the European Union. Do you think that Boris Johnson is a business-friendly Prime Minister?
I think he is in his bones, but I think what we now need to see is that in action. As I say, I think that the importance of business insight, the job creators, the innovators, they are going to be British business. And unless we have that kind of insight absolutely in the heart of number 10, and it has been a disappointment to me that there hasn't been a closer relationship there. The CBI speaks for 190,000 businesses, 7 million employees across the UK. We've seen what we can do working with government over the last 6 months of this pandemic. Let's take this in now to, as I say, the climate change challenge, the training challenge. And we hope to be talking to Boris Johnson quite soon over the next few days directly. It's our annual conference. And this will be an opportunity, I think, for the Prime Minister to make it absolutely clear that he backs business, because that is what this country needs, that collaboration between government and business to see us through.
Sounded like you were hesitating a little bit before that answer. You're frankly a bit disappointed then with the relationship that Boris Johnson has had with business groups?
I think it could be a lot better. I really do. I think this is a moment where people really want to see different parts of our country pulled together. I mean, I've been proud to stand alongside Frances O'Grady from the TUC on several occasions over the last few years. People are sometimes surprised to see that. But what we've been able to do is to say, actually, you need employees, you need business, you need all parts of government, devolved, regions and national, to be pulling together. The public really want to see that. And I think the Prime Minister has an opportunity to stand for that. And part of that is going to be about burying hatchets. Brexit has been done. We now need the deal. That is really important. It is over. And actually, all the business now wants to do is make a success of that, to move us forward. And we have to do that in partnership. And I think the British public want to see that.